Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Thursday, all of the guests today brought to you by the Vancouver Giants. As I've been mentioning, a pair of games at the LEC this weekend. Tomorrow night, the Giants take on Everett at 7 o'clock, and on Sunday, Seattle is in town for a 4 p.m. puck drop, followed by a family post-game skate. Head to VancouverGiants.com to get your tickets, and a reminder, the Teddy Bear Toss coming up on December the 14th against the Victoria Royals. I think Donnie's going to be in attendance tomorrow night.
Oh, right.
He can't work today, of course, because he's got his big luncheon with the 94 team. But the
yes, loves
Giants
that
game.
94 team.
Oh, he does.
I love the 82 team. It's my favorite
I
Canuck
know
team.
you do.
It's my favorite Canuck team.
I know you love Ray Ferraro as well. He's joining us
The best,
now.
simply the best. Nobody better.
ESPN NHL analyst Ray Ferraro. Ray, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I got a question early on here. So, no Taylor, right? He's, hobnobbing and doing his thing. Dolly, I expected you to bring it in off the break. That's like your strength.
Nope.
You see this?
Ray, you got to know your identity and role.
Just stay in the lane.
Hey, I can't drive the bus, Ray. I'm not a bus driver. Know your identity. Know your role.
I remember hosting when I was hosting the radio stuff with Rintoul in the mornings, and once in a blue moon he'd be sick or something, and I'd have to do. I'm like, man, this is complicated.
Just hate it.
Oh, I hated it.
I hate it.
They got the book of reads there for the ads.
That's it.
And I'd always DeBron would be in my ear, and he's like, "Gotta do the Chrysler read," and I couldn't find it. I couldn't. It was just in the book.
And the book's this big. The book's this big, and you're flipping pages. Oh.
But it should be in order, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard. I could have put it in order.
I can't do it.
No, can't do it.
Can't do it.
Well, working with DeBron is one of your obstacles to get through to begin with, Ray.
Yes,
piece of work, guy.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine him staying on task for anything?
No, I can't.
I got DeBron stories.
Okay, Ray, Canucks. They lose last night 5-4 in Pittsburgh to the Penguins. I said earlier, I think the score line, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, 5-4, it's a close game, but the Penguins were all over them. What did you make of the Canucks' loss last night in Pittsburgh?
Well, they were all over them in the first half of the game when it mattered. And then all of a sudden, it's a game again. It's hard to win when you give up 5 goals on the first 14 shots. And we're at the point here, everybody's focusing on the return of Demko, and really what that clearly establishes is you've got a guy who's your number 3 goalie that's playing games he probably isn't playing anywhere else. Like when teams get to their third goalie, in most cases you're not going to get many eraser nights like Ottawa got one last night. Ullmark made 39 saves, but he's their number 1 guy. But I guess the point is you're not going to get many games where you go, you know what, our number 3 guy won us that game. So then the guys in front of them have to play well, to help that guy along. And defensively, they were like the first 3 goals were from combined 9 feet in front of the net.
Yeah.
And the first goal shouldn't go in. But nonetheless, it's, everything's around the blue paint. And then they got ripped apart on a couple of rushes. The Rust goal and both Rust goals. They got shredded in the middle of the ice. And it wasn't a great night. And, they make it close late, which I think you gotta say, it speaks to a little bit of I'll call it the spine of their team. So, Besser's not back to playing yet, even though he's playing. He's not quite there. He's like a half a stride away from where he'd normally be. You don't have Demko, you don't have Miller. These things matter. And now it's going to matter because Hronek's out. And now how do you wallpaper around that for however long he's going to be out? I didn't see had they announced anything, but it sounds like it's not going to be a couple of days.
Yep.
So with Artur Silovs, Ray, like, are you seeing, like, what exactly are you seeing? Just the play in front of him is not what it was at the end of last year. Are you seeing he's just not what he was last year? Like, why exactly?
But Ryan, I think there was a story told about Silovs because it was such a great, interesting story that, here's a guy that's not supposed to be playing, and then he is playing and he's winning. And I think his save percentage in the playoffs was about 88 or 87.5.
Yep.
Right. So like, it's not like he came in and played at 93%. Like the team in front of him was different. They defended better and more sternly and more stably. And, he was kind of along for the ride. He's a really good prospect, but very few goalies are ready to make that jump and be a legit NHL goalie at his age. I don't understand enough about goaltending except to say it happens time and time and time again, where somebody shows well early and then they got to go backwards. And I think in most cases, people from the outside, and I mean outside of maybe understanding how development works, it's not like climbing a staircase. You get to one stair, you step to the next one, then you go up and you keep going up. Oftentimes you take 3 steps up the stairs and then you fall off the side onto your face. And then you got to rebuild your confidence. Like, could you imagine how nervous he is right now? He knows he can read, like he goes in there and he's like, and you're the goalie. Like, and you're young and that like, I'm trying to play well here. I'm trying to start and give my team a chance to win. But hell, I'm just hanging on by my fingertips. And if you look around the league, most young goalies have the same sort of path. Most of them do. And it's right now, I mean, the Canucks are, here they are. I saw something, they're tied for 10th in the league in winning percentage. And nobody would say this has been a fabulous start for them. Yeah. And yet they're hanging in, and it's, I think there's a lot of good things to find, but there's also a reality that this team needs to be better than they've been.
Ray, what do you make of Hoglander? 7 minutes in Boston a couple of nights ago, 9 last night. He's in the dugouts. He can't get off the fourth line. I mean, 24 goals last year. He's on pace for 8 this year. There's no confidence, no trust from the coach. He didn't get any ice when they were up 1-0 in Boston. What's going on there?
Well, you ran across it, but the whole thing is the confidence of the player is clearly shot.
Yeah.
There was a play early in the first period. It was a nothing play, Dolly. Pass came up the boards. It probably could have been a better pass. He put himself offside when he received it. And I'm watching the game, and I rewound it, and I'm like, whoa, that's a guy with no confidence. Like he's got better hands than that. It was a nothing play. He should have been able to handle it and get into the zone and chip it and go forecheck. His game, if we think back to last year, to the first 65 games anyway, his game was predicated on pace and aggression and forecheck. Yeah. And then when he'd shoot the puck, he'd shoot it. Right now, he looks like he's heading left when he should head right. He's going north when he should go south. I'm telling you, it's a brutal feeling when you're on the ice, because you feel like, and this is totally self-inflicted, but you feel like everybody in the building is watching you. Every coach, every video guy, every camera is on you. The fact of the matter is you're just one of 18 skaters out there. And if you can, as soon as you lose that panic, then you can start to build your confidence. And then you can make a play. Like, I don't know, he didn't take a penalty last night, but he'd taken a penalty like 3 games in a row and been in the penalty box 3 games in a row, right? Like, you just can't do that. One of them, he batted the puck out of the air with his hand. I think it was against the Rangers. And I don't know if you remember that. He got over the glass penalty. Like,
absolutely.
Like, what's he doing? Because, and the reason I say that is he's absolutely qualified to glove that puck down and make a play with his stick. He's a good player. But in that moment, he's like, I got to get this puck out. Bang. Now it's out of the rink and you got a penalty. Then he took an offensive zone penalty and it's in the net. Like, you start compounding your own issues with your own panic. And your panic is to play better yes, you got to impress the coach. I had I was going to say I had a coach, but in any case, it was my brother-in-law, Don Granado.
Right.
And he has this great phrase: you can never play with the coach on your shoulder. And what he means by that is that if every time you make a play, you feel the coach's stare on your shoulder, it doesn't work. The coach has given you what he needs from you. Just go play. If you think about it, when you play well, you make 5 mistakes a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because there's 1,000 mistakes a game. But you make 5 and you make 7 good plays. Right now, he makes 2 bad mistakes, or he'll make 2 mistakes, rather, is the way I want to say it. He'll make 2 mistakes and no good plays. So now you're -2. And then you come out of the game and you look at the stat sheet, no shots, no hits, 2 turnovers, and you go, I suck. And then you just start throwing the dirt on yourself. And it's a hard thing, but it's really internal. They can help you. They can work with your skill. They can work with positive video. They can work with positive mindset. And it simply comes down after a while, when the play is there, make the right play, the simple play, and move your feet.
Yeah.
And for him, I think that's the only formula that will help break this doldrum that he's in.
Ray, to end this, I'm going to do some trivia with you. I'm going to check your memory.
Oh, here we go.
The 1983.
Hang on. Is it from last Thursday or is it longer?
No. I'm going to 1983, the Brandon Wheat Kings.
I got a chance then.
108 goals. You had one of the greatest seasons in the history of junior hockey. I'm going to give you 5 player numbers. You're going to tell me who they were.
Oh, what?
Just stop.
Okay.
Number 20.
Stacey Pratt.
1 for 1. Number 16.
Brian Wells.
Nope.
I hope you got all these right.
Al Tarasak.
Tarasak, got it.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Number 8.
He ended up
Derek
being
Blackstall.
That's
Derek
it.
Blackstall.
Yeah, coach in the dub. Number 3.
Kelly Korzak.
Nope. He's a former Canuck, drafted by the Canucks.
Oh, Jim Agnew.
Jim Agnew, which...
biggest arms. If he ever got anyone in a headlock, he was going to pop their head off.
I didn't know you played with former Canuck Jim Agnew, which Canuck draft pick. Well, number 7.
Number 7? That's a good one.
You just said his name.
I did? Kelly Korzak?
Korzak, yep. Is that the Korzak that became a coach in the dub? And
No, I
Penticton?
don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
I do know Cam Plant was number 4.
Yeah.
Brian Wells was 24. Hexie was 27. Randy Cameron was
Hextall was 27. Yep.
Randy Cameron, 25 maybe?
It's amazing you still remember all those numbers.
This is the hardest you've ever prepared for an interview.
What are you talking
about? It's the most work you've ever done.
I wanted to check Ray's memory. So wrong.
And here's one other thing. The seats, Ryan.
In Brandon.
And the other thing is, you can ask anyone that's played in Brandon in the last 30 years, you'd go on a long road trip when they bring in the agriculture fair.
Oh.
And that arena smelt like cow stuff for months.
Oh, so even when you guys came back, the smell wouldn't leave.
Home ice advantage, baby.
The weird thing is, Ray, is it smells the exact same in here most days as well. That's really surprising.
Yeah.
I wonder where that is. Is that with or without Taylor?
Well, but Ray, 108 goals. You see kids now. You don't see those numbers. I know Cliff Ronning put up a ton of points at Queen's Park. You don't see that anymore. I know
chance.
Bedard got 71 a couple of years ago, but mostly it's in the 40s and at 50 max. It's just you don't see what you and Cliff Ronning
Game
did.
is different.
Yeah.
Game is different. We know that. It's. I always thought as the game got faster and faster that it would always be more offense.
Right.
What I didn't realize at the time was how disruptive speed could be defensively.
Right.
And you just don't have time to make plays. Now, Connor scored 71 goals, I think, as a 17-year-old.
Yeah, he did.
I got 108 as a 19-year-old.
Oh, so you were 19 at the time.
Yeah. So what do you think Connor would have done as a 19-year-old? Right? Would have been a little bit different story.
Yeah, that's good. Good point.
The other part of this is, I had 43 power play goals.
What?
That year. Yeah.
43 power play?
Yeah. And 15 shorthanded. So,
special teams monster.
Yeah, I wasn't out there to block shots, I'll tell you that. When I was killing a penalty, there was only one thing. Can Hexy hit me with a breakaway pass? Because
Hextall.
As soon as he got the puck, I was out of there. I was on the way.
Well, thanks for doing this, Ray. I'm sure Dollywell next week will have another set of 5 numbers.
Check your memory. I'm going to keep doing it.
Okay, so next week, a little memory check, sure. And Ryan, you can quiz me on seats in different arenas.
Yeah, seats in different arenas.
Well, one thing I can guarantee, they're all way better than what's at Rogers Arena right now. I promise.
You know what? You would be wrong. You would be wrong. I would have loved to have seen you a couple of years ago in Boston. They were redoing the seats. The Bruins played later than they thought. And in the offseason, when they're putting up a project like that, they need every day.
Yes.
It's a massive project. So they didn't have time anymore. So part of the seats were gold, some were black. Like it looked like the old Medicine Hat Arena, but they just didn't have time they couldn't wait anymore. So the playoffs were going on and they were changing the upper bowl seats. It looked like, it looked like the old Medicine Hat Arena. And so you would have had a field day with that. You would have been disgusted, Ryan.
That sounds like me.
Yes.
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. Donnie will be back and we'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. You guys have a great weekend, eh?
Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it.